I cut out dairy to clear my acne, and yet I still have coffee, eat chocolate, have ice cream, and have my sweet potato fries with aioli. How, you may ask? Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to go dairy-free the easy way so that you never feel like you're missing out.
I can help you out. I can help you out. I can help you out.
Hello, my name is Madison Dohnt, and I help women get smart about their bodies and understand their symptoms so that they can heal naturally. In today's video, I'm going to give you some solid tips on how I make dairy-free life easier than it sounds. The key is not to cut out the taste and texture of dairy altogether, but to find really good substitutes. And if you're worried about the difference in taste, I promise you, you will adapt. So my first favorite substitute is for milk, and that is almond milk. Now, I honestly never thought that I would get used to almond milk. I always used to think it smelled like Play-Doh. But I can promise you that now I can't even tell the difference. I even have it in my oats and I can't even identify the taste at all. It just kind of is my normal now. So I'll show you the one that I really like. Just a sec. You need to find the almond milks that have the good ingredients, because there are a lot that have anti-caking agents, sugars, and just a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need and definitely aren't healthy alternatives. So what brand that I like to use is the Pure Harvest almond milk. This isn't actually the one I use. This is original, but I use the unsweetened one, not because of being conscious of sugar or anything like that, although that's good too, but because the unsweetened one actually separates less in coffee. And if you've tried to make a coffee with a bad almond milk that separates, it looks disgusting. I might even try and put some of this in water and show you what it looks like, but it's gross. So this is just the one that Mum had lying around because she uses it in cooking, and I can use this one for my oats because it doesn't matter if it separates. But what you do need to be aware of is that lactose-free milk is not dairy-free, it's just lactose-free. So basically, when you're lactose intolerant, I can talk about this more in another video, but when you're lactose intolerant, it's because you're intolerant to the lactose. And so what they do in lactose-free milk is they put a lactase enzyme in it that kind of eats up all the lactose, and therefore you have milk without lactose in it, but you still have milk. So I used to be dairy-free, not dairy-free, I used to be lactose intolerant, but for some reason I just grew out of it. So this one is now just chilling in the cupboard unused, and you can actually see the ingredients. The only ingredient in this is skim milk and lactase, so still milk. Whereas the ingredients in this one, filtered water, organic activated almonds, organic rice syrup, and sea salt. And the one that I use, the unsweetened one, doesn't have the rice syrup in it because it's unsweetened. It has brown rice something. I don't know, but it's not a sweetener. So yeah, I recommend this one. This isn't the best one there is that doesn't separate. There is an even better one. I can't remember the brand, and lots of coffee shops use it. But it has anti-caking agents in it and it has sugar. So even though it's a nice little treat, it's not what I would like to be having in my fridge. So products that are advertised to be better for you because they're dairy-free, it doesn't mean that they're healthy. So I can go down the health food store and you find all these biscuits and you find all this like, I don't know, random stuff that has dairy-free on the packet, but then it's packed with sugar. So even if you're going dairy-free for your acne and then you're using an almond milk that the third ingredient is sugar, sugar also causes acne. So you might just be doing a bit of a catch-22 there. So just make sure that you always read the ingredients list. The second substitute is one of my dairy-free favorites, and it's aioli. So I think dairy-free mayo is easy to come by, maybe, but I don't really like mayonnaise. But I love aioli, especially as like a dipping sauce. So I went to the health food store and I actually found a dairy-free aioli. Just a sec. And it is this one. Yum. It is Naked Byron Foods. I'll hold it up. I don't know if it's focusing. And it depends which health food store you go to. I think the first store I went to was $10, but then I went to a different one the next time. I had to buy it when I ran out, and I think this one was only $8. So I know that that sounds expensive for aioli, but it is a pretty big jar, and you just don't really have aioli with heaps of stuff. It's kind of like a spread, so it lasts ages, and it yeah, it's perfect. It's on wraps, it's good on everything and with your chips. So yeah, I am just super stoked that this exists. I don't even care that it's $10. And my next favorite substitute is Carrillo Ice Cream. Now, I'm not sure if I like all the flavors. I do remember once upon a time having some of my sister's salted caramel one and not really liking it, but I reckon if I tried it now, I'm probably used to the taste. But I transitioned into dairy-free ice cream by getting a coconut ice cream. I think the soy ones taste disgusting, but if you're used to soy milk, then I'm sure that that'll work for you. There are also sources that say soy is bad for you, so I just avoid it. But Carrillo, yum. It's just not, I haven't found it in Woolies or Coles, which sucks. They have the yogurt, but they don't have the ice cream. But my trick into transitioning into dairy-free ice cream is to have a vanilla flavored one. So my first flavor that I really was like, yes, I can actually eat this as ice cream without covering it in like chocolate sauce or whatever, is the nutmeg and vanilla one. So I really like that flavor. But mum bought this the other day and I tried it, and I think because it still has the vanilla in it, it hides the fact that it is Carrillo, or it just hides the fact that it is a dairy-free or healthy alternative. This is a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $13 a tub. And obviously you can go through ice cream a lot quicker than you can go through Aioli, which sucks, but it's dairy-free and it means that you don't have to miss out on ice cream. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so the next one that I recommend is avocado. Now, I know that avocado isn't exactly a substitute for dairy, but it's really good for its creamy texture. When I have avocado on tacos, it kind of means that I'm not missing the cheese and the sour cream. So it's still getting that nice creamy texture. So I found that I am definitely eating more avocado since going dairy free. But I know that a lot of you at home are probably already obsessed with avocado, so that's not a problem. Okay, so my next substitute is chocolate. Let's start with Loving Earth, trusty Loving Earth. So my favorite flavor is the salted caramel flavor. I haven't really heard of a flavor that everyone absolutely loves. Some people prefer hazelnut, some people prefer the creamy chocolate one, and some people prefer salted caramel. They also have so many other flavors. But yeah, I've loved this one since like April or something. They are in health food stores. They're usually $6.95 or $7.95, but I have found them on Super Pharmacy for $5.95. So whenever I buy my probiotics from the Super Pharmacy online, I like stock up on these. I get like 5 different blocks at the same time. So this one is a really good one as well. So this one's actually an almond milk chocolate, but this salted caramel one is so good because obviously it has the flavor of salted caramel, but what it has that Loving Earth salted caramel doesn't have is it has like, what are they? Caramel pieces, so like crystallized sugar that's like caramel and so it's like crunchy. It's so good. Actually, we're almost out. We've only got this much left and I'm gonna eat it right now. So I'll show you the crunchy bits if I can. You probably can't see it. I'll try. It has like crystal bits. I don't know if they're shimmering for you on the camera, but well. They taste good. I'm gonna have to get some more of that one. So yeah, that's chocolate. And as far as cakes go, obviously you can go to different cafes and stuff and they make their own cakes, but in terms of ready-made bought, like ones that you can buy, I really love the Blue Dinosaur Lamington bar. So good. And it tastes just like a real Lamington, but maybe even better. Like it's chocolatey, it's yummy. I love it. I haven't really tried any of the other Blue Dinosaur bars. I've heard the banana bread one is good, but yeah, I just really love the Lamington one and I'm kind of scared to try any others because they're like $4.50 a bar, but yeah. The best part about all those substitutes that I just gave you is that you don't have to cook them. You don't have to do anything to prepare them. So obviously there are healthier alternatives if you cook them yourself, but I'm not really big into cooking. It's good that those substitutes are things that you can just access straight away. They're pre-made and ready to buy. Now, I do just want to give you guys some quick tips as well if you're eating out to find dairy-free places really easily. Just remember that dairy-free is vegan. So dairy comes from animals. So it comes from a cow or some other animals. You can have goat's milk. So if you go to a vegan cafe, then that means that it's going to be dairy-free. Also, if you just go to like the local surf club or anything like that, and you look for the symbol for vegan on the menu, you know that that's going to be dairy-free as well. So that's what I recommend if you're eating out. Please don't get the vegetarian and the vegan symbols mixed up, which is very common because they both start with V, because vegetarian is obviously that you don't eat meat, whereas vegan is that you don't have any animal products. So if you're eating vegetarian, you're not necessarily dairy-free. So that's just a little tip for when you're eating out. Otherwise, if you find, say for example, I know this is gonna sound super lame, but they had a palmy on their menu, and so I asked for the sauce, the ham, and then not the cheese. Now it was interesting because in the oven it just kind of like crispied up the ham and there was no cheese to kind of melt over the top. But it was better than just a schnitzel because I got some ham and tomato paste. Actually, I think it was pretty soggy because of the tomato paste. I'm not saying I recommend that combination, but I'm just saying that you can take things that have dairy and ask if they will tweak a few things or leave off the cheese, or, you know, if there's mashed potato, then instead maybe you can get fries, or I don't know, there's options. So they're just some easy ways that you can eat out dairy-free as well. Now, the biggest worry that I hear about people going dairy-free is that, well, other than the fact they can't have ice cream and all their favorite treats, is that they aren't gonna get their calcium dietary requirements. But dairy is not even the highest source of calcium in the diet. So just make sure that you are having leafy greens, because they are actually, the calcium in them is actually more bioavailable. So it means that it absorbs into your body easier. So I will put up a list or a chart from my textbook of the bioavailability of calcium in certain foods. And it's actually things like cauliflower, bok choy, broccoli, and that's actually something that I learned in my nutrition lecture last week, is that calcium, you don't need dairy to get your calcium. But that's all from me for today. If you liked this video, please like it below and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video next week.
I can help you out. I can help you out.